We are here with Mike Sliwa, Gavin Leone on the CUPIC series. We're going to get up to speed. What have you been up to?
Just living large. I've been doing a little bit of traveling and speaking. I went to Michigan for about 10 days and I'm doing a training here in Arizona. So speaking about and learning about different social justice issues. So that's kind of what I've been up to the last 2 months. So It was I think it was April of actually 1998.
Yeah.
Yeah, a long walk home. Filmed it right in front of my old residence where my folks still live, and my grandmother, God rest her soul, was there and
she kept looking out the window.
Interrupted shooting a couple times because she didn't think the camera could see her through the window. My wife was Joanna Leone, I believe, right? No, was she?
Yes, she was. Remember?
And we didn't even call it CUPIC then.
CUPIC?
Yeah, we actually spelled out the acronym. And when I say we, I mean her. But I think that's how the script was.
Yeah.
Excuse me, my name is Joanna Leone, and I'm from CUPIC.
So
you're the guy that had the sighting. And
yeah, clearly I wasn't Gavin at that point.
No, you weren't Gavin.
Yeah. I mean, it's 20 years. It's a long time. I mean, I was going on 31. I was 30. And I think Rod was like 60 at that point. I'm not sure, but
you jive, mother. Okay. No, I was 32.
We were young and full of hope.
Wow, I was thinking about that. That's a while ago. I was in my when I started this whole thing, I was like in my teens.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I started writing this stuff.
1943.
Yes, that was a long time ago. There's a war going on.
Right.
All right. Tell us about your Gavin Leone character.
Yeah, Gavin's an interesting character because, at least, and I don't know, I mean, and Rod may have told me, I don't know if he wasn't even a character beforehand, if anybody played him prior to me.
Well, he was basically a character on paper.
Okay.
Yeah, when I started doing the Joanna Leone character in the Arizona series.
Yeah.
You heard about him, but you never saw him until like the McAllister Affair, the Gathering little feature thing we did.
Yeah, and I remember, at least what my memory recalls at this point, I remember one of the first times I played him, I was standing in the back of a room. I don't know, do you remember this scene? It was at your apartment complex. I was standing in the back, and I think I was actually talking to Josh's character.
Yes, that was Squawker Takes Flight.
Yeah, I feel that was one of the early ones that I played him, if not the first one.
The Gathering was before that.
The Gathering was before that.
Yeah, Squawker was like, it was right after we did those little promos for Cactus Picks.
Right.
We're making movies.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we had it was.
I do know that it seemed to me that the character developed more over the years. I've been investigating with CUPIC for about 10 years now. No, I didn't wake up in the middle of the night and have some revelation. I must investigate unexplained phenomenon. Now, you can say my wife got me into it. He became more involved in the investigations.
Yeah.
I felt in the beginning he was just kind of a
background character,
background sidekick, yelling stuff out once in a while, being sarcastic, like I am. And then he got involved and he became what I would call a believer.
Yeah.
On some levels. In the beginning, I think, if I'm right, he was pretty skeptical, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. He didn't want to even bother with the Squawker. He had to sleep on the couch because he wouldn't help his wife with the Squawker investigation.
That's right, and I think part of that was just the name. Yeah. Don't give me those puppy dog eyes. I'm not investing in this squealer case.
Sweetie, it's Squawker.
Whatever, I'm not touching this.
Honey, why not?
Because I'm not a member of CUPIC, and I have no interest in this Birdman character. Besides that, I have a full-time job that keeps me busy. And I want to spend all my free time with you. I'm sleeping on the couch again tonight. All right. Yeah. Good Lord. I preferred Achman, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I don't want to talk about that. Was the.
Do you remember where we were?
We were down we were at Best Buy. We were down like the home office.
I think we're in the phone aisle.
Phone aisle.
I still remember this. You're like, yeah, I the name, this Squawker. And I was like,
and then you went over and told Jay and everybody, Ann and everybody else, and they came out.
And then when you gave me the alternative, it was worse. I was like,
well, I had the other thing, it was Altman.
I think that episode has a lot of history because was that the episode where my dad said neighbor's cat?
Yeah, the neighbor's cat.
Neighbor's cat.
A neighbor's cat.
Where you went running by the window with a black tarp.
That's right.
You know, there's stuff.
I mean, my dad's only done, I think, 2 roles, but he had 2 killer lines in each role.
Oh, the messenger when he gets hit on the head with
a tennis ball. I forgot what he said, though.
He's like, oh, you said, there's a tsunami coming.
Yeah.
What? Click.
That's right. So, I mean, he had 4 words total if he had up all those words. They were so memorable. That year, what was the year we made that film?
What,
the one where I ran with it was actually the cover for the grill.
Yeah, it was 2003 because I just got back from doing all these videos for Best Buy.
Best Buy, that's right.
So, and I had to do that, and then we shot Squawker that weekend or something like that. Mike has always said, I remember we sat down, we were working on something for the CUPIC series, and Mike goes, there are 2 consonants for the CUPIC series. One is that whooshing sound between every scene transition.
Who is this and why is he blocking me?
And Squawker. We gotta get that on tape.
Well, we've come a long way, and when I say we, I mean you.
Yeah.
In special effects.
But we're coming up on 2 decades since the first CUPIC Arizona project. Can you give us insight from your perspective?
I mean, if we think about the beginning, at least the beginning for me, I should say, because the series was going on before I came around. I mean, at least the characters and things like that.
It was all California stuff. It was all characters that had. I think Tyler Douglas is like one of the only characters from California that I transferred over.
I mean, how many characters have played Joanna in your whole time period, not the Arizona time period? Like
3.
3.
Karen, April, and Tonya. You did a little this and that, and I know you've done some things in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Let's go back to 1987 and talk about that.
Okay. We're not talking about the prostitution.
No.
Not that entertainment industry. Oh, okay.
That's still in litigation?
Yeah,
okay.
Right. I can't talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, if we're going to talk about 1987, we really need to talk about 1983. And if we're going to talk about 1983, we really need to talk about 1971.
Uh-oh.
The Tom Jones Show was on the air in the early 1970s, late 1960s. That's when everybody had a variety show, if you remember that era, Rod.
Yes, I do remember.
Everybody.
Everybody had it.
Yeah.
Cher had one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was a huge Tom Jones fan. I didn't realize that I was going to grow up to be that same stature as height. 5 foot nothing. But I used to introduce myself as Tom Jones, and then I would like lip sync along with him. And that kind of got put to bed, and then in 1983 I was asked by some classmates in high school to participate in a lip sync, as they called it back then, an air band contest, where we dressed up as Devo. And we did a song that actually nobody knows because everybody just thinks of Whip It. We did a song called Peekaboo.
Yeah. Did you have the red hats? The red corkscrew hats?
I think we had some sort of red hats. We had all white on, and we were, kind of nerdy looking and whatever we were. And not that I had to look nerdy looking, I just was. But we did that, and then that kind of continued through high school. And actually, the 80s were a weird time because we actually got paid after high school because I've done a fair amount of lip syncs to actually perform like a band, like a house band in a bar. And we would do sets of lip syncing to music, and eventually somebody filmed it, sent it into a program called Putting on the Hits. which was a syndicated program produced by Dick Clark Productions. Like his brother, Rack Clark, was a producer. And we went to Universal Studios in California, and we filmed an episode of Putting on the Hits. And then my entertainment stuff was kind of put on hold until I moved out here, and I did some extra work in commercials and a small Leslie Nielsen. Is it Leslie Nielsen? Yeah, Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen. Yeah.
Called like Family something or other.
Yeah.
I wore a yarmulke and I played a Jewish pallbearer.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, I think there's a scene, if anybody finds it, where you can see half of my face for like a second. And we filmed like all day. One scene. The scene was us getting out from our cars and walking over to where they were having the little eulogy. And we listened to the eulogy and we all had to react and then basically walk up to touch the casket, and that was it. And all that time you saw half my face because it was on half the screen for about a second. That's movie making, Rod. And then obviously until I met you and we really got to start doing some writing together, and then eventually A Long Walk Home, which was really what I would consider to be my acting debut, along with my wife and along with Doug Morris. I can't believe that's 20 years ago.
Yes. Yes.
It's somewhat shocking, actually.
Yeah, when we started writing, I think it was what, 96 we were talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I came to Best Buy in October '95.
Yeah, and then you came to the merch team like in the summer of 96.
96, right.
We were talking off and on, but we really started talking.
Right. Yeah, and then once we worked together and you were my boss, you forced me to write stuff. No, we started really writing some fictional stuff, and then you decided you were going to reboot this series. And
it's not. It took a long. It was still there. I still wanted to do it since I got out here.
Yeah. You moved to Phoenix, what, 93?
93.
So we started shooting in 98. The technology changes in that 5-year period.
Oh yeah, it was.
Were huge.
We would have.
I'm just thinking of like the editing.
Yeah,
The computers. What kind of camera did you shoot A Long Walk Home on?
Oh, it was a high-8 camera.
Okay. You have somebody else, one of your actors, direct.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do with this next series.
I think that's a really cool idea.
I'm going to step away from directing all of them. I'll direct 1 or 2, but the whole season is.
Yeah, I'd like to direct one.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of yelling, but it's just my style, Rod.
Okay, I'm with that.
Right.
All right. Yeah, we talked about seasons 1 and 2, where Gabalione came into his own character. We know he's going to be in episode 1 of season 3, and then he's going to probably come back into back 5. Because right now I have enough for 5 episodes, and I'm going to go through and record and film the next 5 to end the series. Tell me, how do you feel about the Gabalione character? I know we touched on that earlier.
Yeah.
We talked about it, but
it's interesting. It's developed as him being a standalone character, like we mentioned earlier, and not being a sidekick, and watching him evolve into somebody who is a participant in the inquiry, what's going on. I'm just interested to see, and I don't know, I'm interested to see what happens to him.
Okay.
And I like the idea that I don't know, because I think if you do know in some sense, I'm not saying like I'm some sort of method actor, but I do think it kind of impacts the way you approach a particular scenes and episodes.
Yeah.
Because if you treat it like life, where you don't know, I just think it keeps it a little more real and a little more fresh.